Okay, welcome back to the isolation workshop. Now, I wasn't going to make this video, but I figured, what the heck. This is going to be a controversial video. Not really. He says, oh my gosh, it's so controversial. And what I mean is, this is a craftsman structure kit. I'm not going to follow the normal craftsman structure guy procedures. I mean, I'm going to build it and everything, but you'll see. I'm taking some shortcuts to get this kit built quickly because I have a life to live and I want to get this damn layout done. It's not meant to be a contest model. It's not meant to be, you know, impress everybody. I'm not trying to be, you know, impressive. I want to get the damn thing done and on the layout. So it's another kit from, what's the exact name? I want to get it right. Laser Modeling 3. Very similar, much smaller, but similar in kit design to the Winchendon kit that I did another video of before. So go back and look at that for a more true craftsman build. And this won't be a build. I'm not going to take you through the whole thing. I'm just going to show you the shortcuts I take and let you decide if it's worthwhile. So these are the instructions, and I've started working on it. It's kind of neat. It kind of has a simulated brick covering on it per the prototype, which I think looks pretty cool. And I've got all that material put on. It's kind of, the walls have an adhesive back paper. You peel it off and you put these rows of this simulated brick covering, siding on the building. The backs are all braced per the instructions, although some of the pieces were you gotta love these craftsman kits. These two pieces were too long, so I had to cut them. This piece was too long. Anyway, nothing major. I just had to do some fiddling because the pieces were not proper right out of the bag. And he bags everything and labels it, so that's very nice. Alright, so these are all pretty much done. And what I did for the exterior, he airbrushed it. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm going to cheat. So I use this. This is the, again, the Vallejo model paint. Spray model paint, and this is German field gray, which is fast becoming one of my favorite colors. Really is. So I use that on the exterior because you're supposed to lightly airbrush it. It's probably the real way to do it, and you don't want to cover the brick details. Again, I don't know how well it'll show. It's actually kind of a brick pattern. Looks pretty cool. It's different. You know, I'd not seen that before. That's why I was like, do I want to do that? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's the way the prototype was. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Anyway, so I used the Vallejo model spray on that, and then what I'm gonna do is get the interior. Well, actually, the interior bracing is done. Now, this kit calls for, like the other, if you see the little vertical lines, that's where all the wall studs are supposed to be glued in. Yeah, I ain't doing that. I learned on the other one, yeah, it's impressive, and you can impress your friends and pick up all the women because you freaking glued in 4,000 wall studs. You can't see it. You simply can't see it. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to say I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just not going to put the effort into something that I know will not be visible. Again, I'm not building a contest model. This is just for my layout. I want to get it built. Anyway, so not going to do that. And in fact, they want you to stain all this in various steps with the alcohol, you know, India ink stain. Now, I'm not doing that either. Why? A, because it takes a lot more time and staining and waiting for things to dry, and it turns into a freaking warp fest, in my experience. Again, I don't claim to be a skilled craftsman kit builder. I've done it. I've got it done. I'm happy with it. But there's people out there that might say, you should never have warping. Yeah, well, I did. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try, I'm going to assemble it. Now, I may put some of the wall studs in to give it some bracing here and there. I'm not saying I'm not, but I'm not going to put them all in because that will take me freaking 90 years of COVID isolation to do it. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get that done, and I'm going to spray it with this. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to spray it with this because I tried it on the floor. Again, it's supposed to stay in the floor, and that would have turned into a warp event. And that's sprayed with the German field gray. not bad. Now I'll come in and probably put some powders on it, some pigments, and weather a little bit more. I did not go through. They indicate you should scribe all of these at 8 feet, stagger it, put nail holes in. No, not doing it. You're never going to see it, ever. This is going to be the first floor, or the ground floor, I should say, you know, down at that level. You get the building built, you're not going to see it. So again, I'm not going to take the time and do things that I know will not be seen. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try it. Again, that's a drastic shortcut, and probably flies in the face of the professional craftsman kit builders out there who will probably shun this video, and I'll be hated forever. But that's it. That's what I'm going to do. So anyway, so again, this video is going to be a I'll say shorter video, but you know me, my videos are never short. But it's going to be a shortcut video, what I've done to get this structure built quicker. Still looking nice, but quicker. The foundation they give you, that's done. I needed a little bit more weathering on that. But that, again, I painted it with Vallejo chalk white. Came in with some Vallejo washes. You know, they recommend Floquil paints, but again, you know, come on. I mean, Floquil's gone. Model Railroad going to give it up. There's way more paints out there than just Floquil. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this, continue along, and we'll see how it looks. I also painted the windows that same color. There's a sample of one of the windows. Whoops, up there. Again, also the German field gray, more just to make it easy. Now I'll probably come in and weather a little bit, maybe use a sponge with a different color to make it look like there's some peel and paint. I'm okay with that, because that won't take too long. And then we'll see. We'll see how it looks, and you can decide if the shortcuts were worth the effort. So, alright, more to come on this controversial craftsman kit build. We're so crazy on this channel. Okay, we're back at the controversial craftsman structure kit build. Alright, so where we are so far, I've gone ahead and done a lot of work. I built some of the various details, grain hoppers, a small grain hopper, something cool for the outside of the building. All the windows are done with the acetate inside, which was an absolute pita. I mean, I know the acetate that was provided with this kit was horrible. Really thin. It all curled. It was just absolutely a nightmare. And of course, I was doing it about 8:30 last night. I almost flung the windows into the layout room, but I got them done. The interior here, I got the office built. And again, this is sprayed with that Vallejo German field gray. It's good enough. I'm not even going to worry about it. It's going to be really hard to see, so I'm not going to go nuts on this. Floors are done. This is the second story floor. It goes in like this. And there's some other grain hoppers that go in here that I may or may not include. And this covers up a lot of stuff that I'm not going to put in. It's going to be underneath here. You're never going to see it. I'm just not going to do it. First floor is done. I did build the loading dock on the outside. They did provide the plan for it. They never said what to use for the decking, so I just found some pieces and cut them up individually, glued them on. You can see I put some washes on it. I did add nut bolt washers, 4 of them on the outside. Again, I'm not against doing things that are going to be seen. So that is going to sit at this end of the building, which I think where it's going to be, this is the way you're going to view it. So I went ahead and did a little extra work on that. Oh, the stairs are done here. The canopy roof is done. The doors, the exterior doors you have to make, I have the everything painted. Actually, the raw door itself is stained. This is part of the framing on the door. That's a different color. And then this is the actual door frame on the building. Different color. This will be the trim color. What that actually is the Panzer gray. Or the German field gray. Because one of the nice things, and one of the things you might be saying is, yeah, okay, it's nice to use that type of spray, but what if you need to touch up, or you want the trim to be the same color? Okay, let me just quickly pan up here. Don't know how visible this will be, but right there, all of the Vallejo model sprays, I'm not sure that's focused, have corresponding model color paints, so it's not an issue. And I have all of them. For all the paints that I have, all the model spray, hobby spray paints, I have the corresponding model color paint. For example, this is it. This is 70.830 German field gray. This is the model color match for the spray, so not a big deal. Because I'm probably going to do the trim in that color, and I might just paint it by hand. I do have all the walls are done. Let's see, that's the outside. That's got the field gray, German field gray spray on the outside lightly. And the insides look like this. That's visible. Again, that's just a shot of the German field gray. It's fine. I think it looks okay. Again, it's not going to be real visible. And you can see I added some heavier support pieces in there. I'm not going to put all the individual wall studs. Just not going to do it. Wouldn't be prudent. No need for it. You're just not going to see it. Especially when you get the floors in and everything. And this is a smaller building with not a lot of window and doors, so you're really not going to see a lot. Now, he does pack a lot of details in it. And you might say, well, why in the world are you paying for this type of kit and not using everything? And, that's a good point. But I'm not, because it's not going to be seen. And I have the kit, and I might as well use it. So that's what the interior is going to look like. Again, I'm not going to put any of the interior wall studs in. That's just the heavier studs for anti-warping. Alright, so now I've got that all done. Time to go ahead and assemble the building. So the next step is you put these two walls together, you mount it, you add this wall, you start adding the interior details, the floors and whatnot. So I'm going to start doing that. In the instructions, they don't indicate the windows go until later, but I'm thinking I might want to put them in before I slap the walls together. I don't know why they're doing it later. It just seems to me it will be somewhat easier to put windows in like this when I can handle the wall easily. Glue them in, flip it over, do whatever I got to do, as opposed to waiting until it's it's up. It's doable, but I don't know. It just seems to be easier to me to do it when they're on the bench, which I may do. Okay, so more to come on that. Oh, the foundation is done. I went ahead and weathered that with some different chalks, Europe earth and some track rust, and of course the basement windows are in. I had to do a little bit of carving of the hydrocal carefully to get these to fit in, but then they're all in there. So the base is, it's good enough. It's a base. Again, once you get it in, get scenery around it, it's not something that's going to be blaringly visible. So let's forge ahead and see how long it takes me to get this a little further along. Alright, a little more in progress here. So you can see, I'm just doing this to show, again, I don't regret my decision skipping a lot of steps on this. This thing, when it's done, and this is actually going to be sitting up here, this is another grain bin, a 3-bin grain bin. And then all this stuff fits, this grain bin goes here. It's just sitting there now. This 2-bin goes here. This alleged grain elevator, which I made, I don't know why, but I did it. I guess it looks kind of cool. That goes there. So that's done. And then this floor will go in later. It's all just loose right now. So you can see now it looks like you didn't do anything in the interior, but then once you get it loaded up, you can see why. So this is where we are. 3 walls are done. I did add the office, which again I wouldn't have had to do. I'm not going to light it because I don't feel like dealing with it. I did add the LED lights that he provides in the kit here, and I don't know how visible it is, but I ran an LED light out here for under the canopy on the loading dock, because again, if this side will be seen, that'll be visible, so I'm okay doing that. I did add that grain hopper, but it's going to be completely covered up. So why did I do it? I don't know. back in here where my wires are going out, that's where the steps to the cellar should be. Didn't do it. There's more steps that are supposed to come up here, up to the second floor. Didn't do it. And then, of course, none of the wall studs are on at all. So that's it. So the next step is to glue the north wall on. And here I'm just playing around with some signs to put on it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to call them. It's now Lake City Feed and Grain Company. It can't be the A.R. Gilmore Company. That's in freaking over in New York somewhere. So anyway, just playing around with that. And this is a nice big one to hide the mistake I made. It's actually pretty bad. These signs will fall off, but again, they're just sitting there now for... You can see how the second row down from the top, yeah, that's pretty bad. Oopsie. So I'll go ahead and make a nice big sign to cover that up. Oh well. Alright, so the next step, the center beam was added, and I did that, that's fine. But you can see I ran out of the German field gray. Didn't want to start a new can, so I used some Panzer gray, but who cares. So the next is to get this wall on, get it all secured, glued up, and then probably get it onto the base. Which I don't, again, this is the second kit in a row where I don't like the way it's designed. It doesn't seem to fit on the base right. It seems to overhang way too much. But anyway, we'll get it on. I think I can favor it this way, because on the back side is just a complete other part of the building that comes out this way, that it's going to totally cover the base. So let me just show you this. It goes like that, and then that sits on it like that. I know you can't see much, but it really overhangs it a lot. I think too much. And I might even need to add some more supports on the bottom. Don't mind all the wires to actually catch the base in certain areas, especially if I want to kind of favor it. So I can favor it this way, because this side, he says, oh, there we go. This side's going to be totally covered, because what goes in there is this, for this outside storage room. So that's going to fit in there and come up to the end here. So you're never going to see that. So, if I favor it this way, you're never going to know. And it would look better, I think, out here. And this is the side that's going to be pretty much open on the layout. So this will be will be more visible. So I may have to play with that a little bit. I really don't like the way, I don't know. Again, the other kit I did, the Winchendon kit that's in Fairview, was the same way. I don't think it fit on the base right, but it looks okay when it's done. So, all right, so let's get back to getting this wall on, weighted up, set down, ready to go. I might do a little bit more work inside here. It's just a little bit easier. Oh, I did put all the windows in, as you can see, and the door frames, which the instructions said to do later, but I said, why? I'd rather do it now. It's a lot easier getting them in, as opposed to having to hold them and fiddle with them, because some are loose and want to fall out and blah, blah, blah. So I just did it all at one time. Alright, so let's progress along. Let's get this thing going together. And it's still taking me time, but I know it is saving me a little bit not doing all this other stuff. And I think really, once this goes on, and I do put all that interior stuff in, you're going to see really how little you see the inside of this building. So far I'm not regretting it very much at all. Alright, let's forge ahead. Alright, so here we are, pretty far along. Again, this is not a build video, but just wanted to kind of show how things look now that it's pretty much ready for the main roof to go on. I did add the details and some of the exterior chutes and ladders and fun stuff, and I added a custom-made sign here. The sign came with the kit. These I actually mounted on, I had leftover real thin adhesive-backed wood from earlier kits. And it just seemed that they wouldn't paint it on this type of siding with this simulated brick. I thought it would look better, so that's what I did. Now, they have to be weathered yet, but they're done. And these exterior details are in. And then if we look on the inside, you'll kind of see, if I can show this. You gotta be careful, because once you get these kits far enough along, then you gotta be, don't want to be breaking stuff. But you can see the interior there. I got the grain bin. This is a grain bin. 2 other grain bins. I'm not gonna put grain in them. That'd be silly. Grain elevator. This is the stone picker's room back here. Again, I sprayed it real quick, but you can see why I didn't put, especially on the first floor, any of those wall studs. I mean, to me, it just would be absolutely silly. You're never, ever, ever going to see it. And if, I guess if you're the type that wants to do it because you know it's there, then knock yourself out. But to me, it's silly. Even here, you can see I didn't do it at all in the second story. Once you get the roof on, there's no lights on the second story. And the only real windows that you're going to be able to peer into are these here at the end. And again, it depends where you place it on the layout. I mean, you're not going to see anything. So anyway, so I got the dock in. I had some leftover of the sheets, the steel sheets that were already done with the PCB etchant. I have to do a bunch more for the roof and the storage room, but I had them, so I just put them on. They're done. A couple more signs. Again, you probably can't see. It gets a little dark underneath the canopy. I got a sign there at the end, and then a little neutrino sign there. Again, they'll all be detailed up or weathered a little bit. I don't like the way he does the doors on these kits. To me, they look way too big and gloppy. And this one didn't even fit. I had to really butcher up that end to make it fit. It doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. I'm getting tired of it, so I just started putting it together. So I want to get this thing done. On this end up here, this is actually the rail siding end. Again, I didn't feel like chewing up this piece of siding, which he gives you as the eave. So I said, okay, so they blanked that door off. This door looked really silly, being almost like a man door. So I went into my box of rocks and found I think a titchy door. I had to modify the opening slightly. So, over time they replaced it. At some point they got rid of the original door and added a newer man door. It was silly the way the other door looked. It was so small. Anyway, I'm just babbling. So now what I have to do, here's the side with the storage room. Yeah, I put all the rafters in, which is silly. They're all going to be covered up. I was thinking about it. For this main roof, I should just slap a piece of board on there, cardboard or something like that, chipboard, and then put the rusted up metal on top of it. But alright, no, that would make they want to come for my model rarity card. So I have all the freaking little rafters, so I'll glue them in. Actually, it doesn't take that long. It's all slotted. You just gotta go through there and glue them up. So I'll go ahead and do that. Because again, I don't want to lose my license to be a model railroader. And then I'll need a couple more details, a little bit more weather in. But once I get that on, it'll be pretty much good for the layout. Now, I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put it yet, but we'll see. So, alright, so probably the next thing will be just when it's done. Again, it's pretty much just following the instructions now, doing the roof and etching the material and all that kind of fun stuff. So, alright, we'll see her when she's done. Alrighty, here we are ready for the corrugated roofing to go on, which is, actually it's sitting over here. Doo-doo-doo. Slow pan. Oh, creamery. I'm working on that one too. It's over here. It's all been bathed in the PCB board etchant. Now it's just going to sit and dry up. It's been rinsed off in clean water for quite a bit here, so it's just drying up. That was fun doing that. Actually, it's not, but I do like the way it looks. So you can see I got all the rafters in. I know, I just did it. I mean, you think about it. All I'm going to do is slap on those corrugated pieces. You probably wouldn't have to do that, but it came with a kit, so I did it. This side's been weathered a little bit. Might be a little tough to see, but I did Add a little bit of weathering pigments to the Purina sign, just kind of tone it down a touch. I did have extra in my box of rocks of this material from a previous kit. I think from the Winchendon kit that's now in Fairview. So I slapped them onto the roof of the overhang and a little storage room. Got that done. This is what I mean where I don't know what I'm going to do about this. I don't know how well it's going to show, but it's freaking ugly. I had to trim away the trim that was on the storage room here to fit in that flipping door rail. It's like, what the heck? I don't know why it was designed. Anyway, I'm not a complainer. I'm just going to try to fix it and cobble it up. So then we got this side. This side's pretty plain. Did hit it with a little bit of weathering chalk. And this is the track side. So this side is loaded, so I did come in and add a little bit of the blue-gray wash to that. I like the way that kind of looks like it's all dirty and faded. I think that's cool. This side's ready to go. I did add, it might be hard to see, but there is a gutter up there. Because it's on the picture. It's on the prototype picture from back in the era. So I said, you know what? I'm going to add that gutter. So it's there. And then what I'll have to do, of course, is add the downspouts here. Here. I don't know if I'm going to come down here down the wall or down here across the roof. Over here, I will probably come down, run across the roof, and then run down there just for fun. I'm not going to put a gutter out here. I figured that, let the water run off. No one goes back there anyway. Plus I ran out of material. I actually, you probably can't tell, I did have some 1/16 inch wood channel, which is not ideal, but it works. Well, I had enough for the front side, and then I came across, and right there, it may be really hard to see, I ran out of the channel. Well, I'm like, rats, I'm so close. So I'm looking in the box, and I had some similar sized I-beam. So I said, okay, it's close enough. I don't think anyone will really notice. So I sanded down the bottom side carefully to try to get it to be the same height, and then glued it in there, and it looks okay. I mean, you have to really, really look and to see that. So now, just letting this sit. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned it, the cupola is done and installed, and I use a little different roof material. I had some. I forget, at some point in time they redid that roof for whatever reason, and I actually finished it. They tell you, the instructions, you glue in 6 of these rafters, you glue that on, then you cut these and glue them in, which, yeah, that was fun, and finish it. But they didn't have the roof on or the trim or anything. I was like, you know what? No, I'm finishing this thing. I don't want to have to go back and try to mess with it when it's sitting on the building like this. So I literally just finished it, roofed it, glued it on. Seems okay. I think it's going to be alright. But I did not do exactly like the instructions indicated, because I did not want to have to come back and mess with that. And I may now come in and put the downspouts on. So once I get the roof on, it's pretty much done. The only other thing I have, there's one cool looking little accessory, which just might be too dark to see. This is, you have to build, this won't show up, I know. You have to build this little bugger. 2 pieces of pipe, you have to cut them and glue them and add chain and all kinds of fun stuff. Little handles there at the very end. Again, I don't know if that'll, might be shaky because I'm sitting there holding it. It probably won't focus. Oh, sorry. Anyway, trust me. It was fun. Well, this joins up with this. And this is apparently a rail car loader. Okay, looks cool. I like it. But I'm not putting that on, man, until I'm damn near done. That's just one of those things that I know if I'm working and twirling this around, boom, now I get knocked off. So that's going to be like one of the last things I do. So, all right, here we go. Now I'm just going to let the corrugated roof material dry up and then get it installed and then be 98% done. Alrighty, I'm calling this thing done. Time to get off the workbench. So, so this is the kind of the main side of the building. Pretty much, like I said, done. What was added? Well, obviously the roof is done. The gutter's on. Downspouts are in. I did leave this corner when I put the metal pieces on. It was kind of cool and damaged. I just thought it looked really neat, so I went ahead and left it like that. And I actually have some still water in there. That's where they got water damage, and it went up under the corner of the roof a little bit and caused some damage. Obviously, they're going to try to fix that at some point in time if the money is available. I did add the electrical drop on this side over here. Those are the three little connectors, power connectors that came with the kit itself. And then what I did, it's probably really hard to see, but there's some really fine Berkshire line, what do they call that stuff? Oh crap, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, used for telephone wires and that kind of stuff. They're in there, really, really small. They're super glued to the insulators and into this 042 OD tube, stainless steel tube that runs down to a Scale Structures Limited industrial box that I cut the bottom meter off and kind of painted it, weathered it, actually drilled a small little hole in the top, stuck the tube into it, super glued it together, added the two little wood supports up along the sides here. So that's run up, and then I very carefully fished the little tiny wire, the little lines in there, and then added a dab of super glue there to hold it. So good enough. I'm not saying it's perfect. I don't think you'd actually have a disconnect box on the outside, but you may. But it's neat. It's got a little handle there. Again, I don't know if that's going to show up, but I just liked it for the detail effect. And of course, you're going to go blurry. Thank you very much. Let me get this to focus. Of course, I can't. Alright, the hell with you. I guess I should get a manual focus, but I'm too lazy. So this side, like I say, is complete. The sign's been weathered. Oh, this little platform was added here. You might be wondering, why in the world is there a flower pot on the outside? I saw it, and I wasn't going to use it, but I said, you know what? It's cool. It looks different. So the story is, because I asked the owner what's going on, his wife apparently makes these at home, grows the flowers, the plants herself and everything, and her sister-in-law wanted one and wasn't able to come to the house, so she said, well, I'll bring it down to the plant and leave it on the outside platform, and you come by and pick it up whenever you can. So that's why that's sitting there, for her sister-in-law, the owner's sister-in-law, to come pick it up. Sounds good to me. So this is the end. It'll probably be facing the aisle. Again, my light here is not very good. And then the dock's got some details on it. Added the stairs to it. Some details there. Again, I'm not going to worry too much about this. This is, like I mentioned, it's ugly, really ugly under here. Just the way that makes no sense to me. Why that door, and that's where it has to be, is so close. I don't know if the guy designed it right or whatever, but it looks ugly but hard to see. So ugly and hard to see means let it be. And then I did kind of goof up on the cupola here, and I don't really like the way that looks, but the instructions say to come around it and use some black craft glue in a syringe. Well, okay, I tried that and made a mess of it, so I said, you know what? They sent Cletus and Bubba up there because there was some roof damage and water was getting in the cupola, and they scabbed on those boards there. Whatever, because it really looked bad the other way. So, not that it looks great, but good enough. And then the back side, this side won't be very visible, but you probably can see I did add the downspouts. One comes here, and I ran it across there. Again, more for fun. And then down here. Yeah, that's fun forming that stuff out of the little evergreen tubing and not breaking it. And then one here at the end that I ran off the into the gutter and then down across the storage room roof. Notched the roof material there and then brought it down there. So that's that gutter or downspout. Continuing our 360. Now this is the track side. This is where the track will be. So it's got the, I guess this side's pretty plain. And that's the one that I boarded up because I didn't want to butcher it because of the freaking door runner. I said, alright, if they just close that door off. That's the new Tichy door because I didn't like the door that came in the kit. That is one of the kit doors. This is kind of neat. That's the loading. They call it the rail car loader. It's kind of neat, kind of fun to make. Actually, kind of a challenge to make. But anyway, they give the materials on the kit. So that sits... wrong way to turn. Oh, now my building's hitting there at the end. Okay. So, I like it. That's kind of neat. I think it's a neat little thing. Now, of course, the way it's going to sit in the layout, you're not really going to see that all that well. Just because this side of the building is going to be away from the aisle. But, yeah, so be it. Alright, so, with that, that completes this Craftsman kit. Again, it still took me a lot longer than I was hoping, even with taking some shortcuts. Can you imagine that? Why in the world would you take the time to install all the individual wall studs, unless you're a masochist and just love creating more work for yourself? Because you're never, ever, 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 ever going to see it. Now I know I did it, and I'm proud of myself. Yeah, well, I don't live like that. If it's not visible, I'm not worrying about it. Again, I do have lights down here, but with all those bins and the LED, you're not going to see any of that, any of it. So anyway, so I did save some time, but then of course you still spend a lot of time doing other stuff, like adding gutters and downspouts and other kinds of fun stuff. But anyway, that is it. So that is the A.R. Gilmore feed mill, now rechristened as the Lake City Feed and Grain Company. Ready to be placed on the layout over in Lake City. So, alright. Hopefully it was fun, a little bit enjoyable. I know you're probably tired of seeing these kits, but that's what I'm doing, so you get to see what I'm doing, like it or not. Alright, let's pause this baby, get it posted, and move on to other things.